This show is presented by the 323 Network. You can watch all your favorite 323 friends and shows on the 323 Network YouTube channel, follow us on all social media platforms at 323Reid, and support us as we continue to grow at patreon.com/323Reid. That's 323REID. Do you have any questions for Jeff Brom?
Yeah, Jeff, how was your weekend?
Well, let me answer that question by asking you two questions. One, is this or is this not the XFL? Yes, it is. Two, do I or do I not currently have a pulse? Yes, I do. Let's play football.
Oh, happy day indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 323. This is the Sunday Hangover, as you always know by that beautiful serenading gospel voice of Vin Diesel himself. And I'm your host, Reid Murphy, quite exhausted from this Sunday. And I mean, it was a good weekend in general. We're celebrating. I mean, it has to be a good weekend when you're celebrating the host of Emily Sissel Asks What If birthday of Emily Sissel. So happy birthday to her. But it's also football Sunday. And I couldn't be happier to be joined by the host of the 323's College Shame Day. Look at this. We're kind of like we're just trading roles like 2 days in between.
This is great.
Of who's in. Scott
No,
Ellia
folks, we're not batch recording these.
Yeah, we promise. We did not. It'd be impressive if we recorded this show on Friday. Oh my God.
Oh God.
Our Ricks versus Gricks would be so much better if we had these scores. Look, how has your weekend been, Scott? How's the weekend been? How was your Sunday?
Very, very football heavy.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want it any other way. We've been waiting for this for the last, I don't know, 7 months, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a numbing feeling. It makes you feel sick at the end of the day, but there's nothing like it.
It's the best kind of sick. The weather's just starting to cool down. It's getting a little cold, a little chilly. The breeze comes through. The leaves are starting to change. I love it. Soon I'll be making chili and eating chili, watching, Dallas, Dak Prescott throw a pick six on Sunday Night Football, hearing those Carrie Underwood notes. I have a hot take on that because as we're recording this as Sunday Night Football goes. This is usually how it will go on the Sunday Hangover. You won't get the Sunday Night Football score. You want the score? Watch the game. We got every other score for you.
But don't worry, we're watching it.
I am starting to believe that the Carrie Underwood theme for Sunday Night Football is getting a little played out. I think it might be time for a fresh start. I think we need somebody fresh.
Who do you have anybody in mind, or is that just your opinion as of right now?
It's my opinion as of right now, but it's like, it seems like they keep the same song, right? We're waiting all night or all day for Sunday night. And before it was Faith Hill. Love Faith Hill. And I love Carrie Underwood too, but they replaced Faith Hill after a certain amount of time to freshen it up. I think it might be time for Carrie Underwood just so we can get something, just something new. Something that's it hasn't been going around as long. Maybe some Casey Musgraves, or you get Miley Cyrus in there. She's a big, she's kind of country, mostly pop, but country royalty. I don't know. It's like all the theme songs. Like the Thursday Night Football theme for Prime, I didn't like at first, but then it started to warm up on me. It's something fresh. It's something energetic and cool, hip, youthful, all of that kind of stuff. How do you feel about the football themes? Is there a particular one that's your favorite or that you hate?
I mean,
You can't hate any of them.
I
mean,
don't hate. I don't hate any of them. I think. I think like the bat signal is as a beacon of hope. Whenever you hear any of these songs come on, you just get pumped up. You're like, okay, it's football time. Let's get going. But I do agree with you that something needs to change, especially with Sunday night football, Monday night football. My question is, correct me if I'm wrong, who is in charge of the entertainment for the Super Bowl? That's Rock Nation, right?
Yeah, Rock Nation. Jay-Z's
So
label.
my question would be is why don't they do on Sunday night or Monday night, they have you folks at home, you guys vote for next week's intro seeing sensation, and they put up a list of like 2 or 3 artists underneath Rock Nation or whoever they can get. The viewers vote. There's enough time within a week to record a song really quick for a dub over.
Yeah.
At least that way it keeps it fresh.
But see, you know how that'll go. They'll put up like the artists, and people will write in. It's like, we want The Weeknd, Harry Styles, and they'll
Bruno
win.
Mars.
They'll be like, well, we couldn't get The Weeknd, so here's Leon Bridges, and like that's who's rolling out.
Or even better, like, I mean, these games are so far scheduled out in advance. Like, I'm sure that they're in New England tonight for the game. I'm sure you could find some artist who is from that area, whether it's big or small or up and coming or whatever route you want to go with it, and have the hometown person sing the song.
That would be interesting. That would make it a lot more, nice and regional. Who's from Green Bay? Are there any musicians from Green Bay, Wisconsin?
You know what? What I'll do is my homework for the show while we're having our discussion, just like how your homework is on the 323 College Shame Day, finding obscure graduates of small schools no one's ever heard of. I will see what artists are from Green Bay.
It's too late. I already got to it.
You motherfucker.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Kurtenacker. Jerry Cole. REO Speedwagon. Oh, that could work. Just don't you just don't need games in Green Bay. We don't need Sunday night games in Green Bay. Do them and do the games in Chicago. So then we have Kanye West come out there and just like rant for a good 5 minutes while the anthem plays behind him. Oh, it's been a fun Sunday. It's been a lot. So, look, let's get all the people educated on what happened this Sunday. Get some, brief thoughts in there, and then we'll really dive into some notes after the scores. Does that sound good to you?
That sounds great to me. And just so you know, Belle Biv DeVoe is from Boston, so they could have came out there and started jamming.
That would be lovely.
Get some BBD out there.
Shout out to BBD. NFL Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a good one, but let's start all the way back at last Thursday when we were recording Ricks versus Gricks. And we'll get you a Ricks versus Gricks update, by the way, and an update on the Detroit Lions Memorial betting slip, which is exhausting. But starting at last Thursday night, Week 2 in the NFL began with a Philadelphia Eagles victory over the Minnesota Vikings, 34-28. The Eagles' defense continued to impress, eating up Kirk Cousins and capitalize on several forced fumbles. Eagles are now 2-0. The Vikings are 0-2. A little bit of concern in Minnesota, Scott?
No. I mean, it was a little bit of a hiccup last week in playing Tampa, losing at home. But I mean, you're traveling to Philly, going against most people seem to think they're going to be the Super Bowl champions this year. But Kirk really showed out. He threw for over 350, got 4 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson was doing really great. I just think it's hard to stop Philly, especially with Swift in the backfield, putting up almost 200 rushing yards. It's hard to overcome that.
Going to Sunday, the Indianapolis Colts. They took down the Houston Texans, 31-20. The Colts are now 1-1. Texans are 0-2. Colts got a big win, but their starting quarterback, the rookie Anthony Richardson, he went out with a concussion after scoring 2 touchdowns on the run pretty dominantly. Scott, your guy looks good if he can stay healthy. Is that the main concern with him, or do you see a drop-off happening?
No, that's always been kind of a main concern for me, at least for him, because he relies so much on his legs and his rushing ability that he's just going to eventually get himself into some trouble, which he did today, now in the concussion protocol.
I hope for a quick return. That's my fantasy quarterback. My other fantasy quarterback, though, it's Jordan Love. Jordan Love, the Packers quarterback. He had another great impression today with a 3-touchdown day, but couldn't overcome a strong Atlanta Falcons offense and a much more confident-looking Desmond Ridder. The Falcons beat the Packers 25-24 with the last-second field goal. Falcons are 2-0 now. Packers are 1-1. Meanwhile, the Seattle Seahawks, they get a W on the board. They beat the Detroit Lions 37-31 in an exciting overtime game. Detroit dedicated a statue today to Barry Sanders, somehow finally. I don't know how that's just now getting a statue for Barry Sanders in Detroit, but they still couldn't fend off the guy who's going to have a statue in the front of every stadium in the NFL, the Hall of Famer Geno Smith, and a good rebound game from Tyler Lockett. We're proud of you, Geno. We didn't write you off. I wrote you off. Scott
Never
didn't write you off.
No, you see this? So for the viewers on the 323 YouTube channel, you see that nice little space right there on my wall?
Mm-hmm.
I'm reserving that for Geno Smith's fat head. Stick it right there in my living room. Bam.
Are they still making fat heads? I haven't seen a single commercial for fat heads in years.
You know what? I don't know. I'll find out.
Homework. There you go. I used to have a nice Clinton Portis fat head. Love fat heads. I wonder if I can get a fat head. I digress.
See, why not?
The Kansas City Chiefs got a W on the board this week as well. They beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 17-9, a lot less of a shootout than we thought. Chiefs are 1-1. Jaguars are also 1-1. But the biggest update from week 1, and especially with the Chiefs, it's not Travis Kelce getting healthy. It's Kadarius Toney. 5 targets today for 5 catches and 35 yards. Good rebound, buddy. He got all that juice from that Giants 40-0 loss last week. That's what got him back. That was the rehab. Meanwhile, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Scott's Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 2-0 now. They beat the Chicago Bears 27-17. The Bears are 0-2. Justin Fields was catching hell from Bears fans today. A lot of bad decisions, some unnecessary sack taking, but Scott, 2-0 for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Another impressive game from Luis Martinez's comeback player of the year, Baker Mayfield. Tell me about him. Tell me how you're feeling.
I see. This is where the fan needs to separate himself from the pundit, because I need to quell my expectations, because I'm just expecting, I don't know if it's the pessimist side of me, but I'm expecting the other shoe to drop. Yes, we did get that upset road victory last week against Minnesota. You know, we pulled the home opener. We got the victory against Chicago, which I wasn't totally worried about, but Baker's looking good. 300 yards, a touchdown. Rashad White's looking great with a touchdown. Mike Evans had a monster game for 6 for 171 and a touchdown. So, I mean, when you have the amount of weapons that Tampa Bay has, you're not expecting Baker over the last couple of years when you went to, especially when you did it with the Cleveland, you want him to build the whole team. Now you're just giving him the keys and say, just drive it. Just do your thing, Baker. So hopefully going into next week, it keeps going, but I'm quelling my expectations, especially because it's Philly at 7 o'clock next week.
Philly. It'll be tough, but it could be the surprise of the year. Oh, something that's not a surprise, the Chargers. Like we said last week, when in doubt and in a close game, they never fail to fail, and today was that day. The Tennessee Titans took down the LA Chargers 27-24 in overtime. The Titans are now 1-1. Chargers are 0-2 with the hashtags beginning on Twitter of Fire Brandon Staley. Oh, that's our guy. Meanwhile, to finish out the 1 p.m. games, the Baltimore Ravens go to 2-0 with a win over the Cincinnati Bengals, 27-24. Joe Burrow looked much more like Joe Cool this week, but they could not stand up to a vintage Lamar Jackson performance. Mark Andrews returned and made an immediate impact, but Odell Beckham Jr. also did that thing that we always expect and went down with an injury. Who knows how long he'll be out. Bengals are 0-2. Ravens are a strong 2-0 to start the season in the AFC North. Meanwhile, the New York Giants, after losing 40-0 last week on Sunday Night Football to the Cowboys, it was one of the most depressing losses I've ever seen a team take. 40-0 in the rain, like an Omarion video. The Giants today were down 20-0 during the first half to the Arizona Cardinals. And somehow, well, not somehow, you're playing against the Cardinals. So you should do this. The Giants avoided total uproar and chaos, beating the Arizona Cardinals 31-28. Giants advanced to 1-1. The Cardinals are 0-2 to start the season, but I would say a strong 0-2 for what we actually, I mean, you say, I don't know. I didn't expect them. Oh my God, they do have a fat head of Geno Smith.
Yeah, they have a couple options there for you. They got some stickers. They got a little bedside table. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the little bedside table one and keep that right next to me. Pray to Geno every night before I go to bed. No, the reason why I grumble at that comment about Arizona, because they were up 20-0 at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were at 20-0 going into half, and when I saw that the Giants were slowly creeping the way back up, just like how last week, how Washington eventually got back over that hump and got them, it reminds me of the famous line from Toy Story from when Woody was talking about Buzz flying around. He's not flying, he's falling with style. And that's what's going on with the Cardinals right now. They're not tanking. They're falling with style right now. They're trying to make it seem like they're still trying to give a damn and still trying to do some stuff, keeping close with some of these teams, and they're eventually going to shit the bed.
That's a great quote for this. That's actually a great metaphor for the whole season. I like that.
Well, and especially
style.
if you look at especially if you look at the Cardinals' schedule coming up, Cowboys, Niners, Bengals, Rams is kind of a toss-up. Seahawks, Ravens, like their schedule is very, very daunting. So, I mean, the ceiling I have for them is 2, maybe 3 wins. I could easily see them losing every single game this year to ensure that top draft spot, but that's top for discussion for another day.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting to see how this all goes. You want exciting? My goodness. The Washington Commanders against the Denver Broncos. They were in Denver. Russell Wilson, he continues to look better than his, first year in Denver, especially with this crazy final drive that he put together, finished with an insane Hail Mary, but a failed 2-pointer. And then Washington quarterback Sam Howell continues to make flashy plays in spite of Washington's poor O-line play. But a huge Terry McLaurin touchdown and another incredible performance by Washington's D-line, including a returning Chase Young. That was enough to get
the fucking Commanders
to 2-0. The
fucking Commanders
win 35-33 against the Denver Broncos.
7 sacks.
Deron Payne turned the fuck up. Like, as soon as the second half began, it was just like last week. Deron Payne just goes crazy. Meanwhile, staying in the NFC East, the Dallas Cowboys, who won 40-0 last week against a New York team, win 30-10 this week against a somewhat better New York team. The
Congrats,
Cowboys go to 2-0, beating the New York Jets, who fall to 1-1. It was a great 143-yard performance from CeeDee Lamb, with Dak Prescott going 31 of 38 for 255 yards, 2 passing touchdowns. But don't look now, Scott, because vintage Zach Wilson, he's back. Zach Wilson, Jets quarterback, 12 of 27, 170 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. We're back, baby. New York Jets football.
3
3
picks.
Oh, my God.
He has 3 interceptions.
It just keeps getting better. Where's Luis? Where are you?
Yeah, I think everyone had one. I know Diggs had one. I know Malik had one. I think Curse had one. I'm pretty sure Curse had that one that he ran back for like 30 yards.
I got one. A football just like randomly hit me on the couch. I didn't know where it came from. Finally, rounding out the daytime games this Sunday, the San Francisco 49ers beat the LA Rams, a divisional matchup, and surprisingly stronger than I thought it would be. 49ers win 30-23. Niners are 2-0, Rams are 1-1. LA continues to perform better than expected, especially with rookies like Puka Nacua hauling in 15 catches for 147 yards, and running back Kyron Williams getting 2 touchdowns on the ground and through the air. But it was Matt Stafford's costly 2 interceptions that were too much for the Rams to overcome in a shootout with the Niners. That was vintage Stafford there. And those are your Sunday games in NFL Week 2. And look, I want to dive into, I have actually plenty of notes to dive into. I'm sure you do too. But the first thing I have to jump into here is that Washington-Denver game. You see me wearing my Commander shirt. And I've been pretty lethargic today. Yesterday was a very fun day. It was a very fun, long day celebrating M's birthday. We did a whole lot. Monster Mini Golf in Stafford. Shout out to you. You are awesome. Everything there is cool. But I woke up today. I was feeling kind of tired. I had a couple soccer games to go to, a couple kids' soccer games to go to, and holy shit, did I put some energy into those games. I was shout out to Bella. Bella's a beast out there who was scoring. These kids were fun. And after that, I was done. I was good to go for the day. I didn't need to do any other sports, but I had a whole day of NFL to watch, and I could not get myself up for the Washington game. And as the Commanders are getting their ass beat in the first half, I'm ready to turn it off. There's no game on Fox. I guess we'll binge watch something. Put on Star Wars Clone Wars. We'll, just watch that for the afternoon. But Washington made a huge comeback, and I got, decently excited, a little more energetic. But nothing woke me up like that fucking Hail Mary at the end of the game. That I almost shit myself, Scott.
I almost choked. I had ordered some wings. I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a lazy piece of crap today because I had a busy weekend myself. I just wanted some time to just do nothing. And I was just sitting there enjoying, like, let's just get this ball out there in the air and we can move on. As soon as I saw them catch that, what was it? I think it was tipped like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
I damn near choked on that chicken wing.
Yep. It was too much. It was too much because what happened is that thing that you learn in like middle school football of if it's a ball that's in the air, especially like a Hail Mary like that, you bat it down. You smack that thing down. You don't try to tip it up. You don't try to pop it up, which is what happened right there where I think it was Reeves. I don't know who it was at the end who tried to almost reel it in with one hand, and that's how he popped it up to 89. And oh my God. And I was just so happy there was no interference on the 2-point conversion. The CBS referee, Gene Steratore, is pretty sure that there was interference, but I'm not going to say it. It could have been. But, oof. But I'll give you the highlight of that game. We don't have TG on, so no delicious dimes, but I'll give you a delicious dime right here. This was the Sam Howell touchdown to Terry McLaurin. Look at him dropping back here. 30 yards.
Slinging it to the end zone. Was it caught? Yes.
Triple
McLaurin.
coverage.
Touchdown.
Right there. And then getting the icky shuffle. Triple coverage. Triple coverage for Terry McLaurin. Continues to show that he's one of like the most underrated receivers in the NFL. But somebody that I will give you that I think is maybe the most underrated receiver in the NFL, despite being a perennial Pro Bowler and All-Pro player, is your boy in Tampa Bay, Mike Evans. I think he somehow still goes underrated. even despite what it's been 8 or 9 seasons, 9 straight seasons of 1,000-yard performances. Today he put up for, I think, 170 plus yards and a touchdown in that game. That dude can do it with any quarterback, whether it's Jameis Winston, Josh Freeman, Baker Mayfield, Tom Brady. Dude does it all. Like is he the best player? Would you say that he's the best Tampa Bay player in the team's history?
Ooh.
You got Warren Sapp in there. I don't know if you can consider Brady.
No, because when I think, if you're asking that question, I'm thinking about players who were there for the majority, if not their whole career. But Mike Evans would be up there. Derek Brooks, Rondé Barber. Honestly, you know what? He has a really good resume to take that number one spot. I mean, like you said, he's definitely one of the most widely consistent players in the NFL. I mean, first rookie years was in 2014, so
Yeah.
he's coming up on 10 years in the league. He's posted 1,000 yards every single season that he's played. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, by the time that everything's said and done for Mike Evans, he probably will go down as the best Buccaneer in history.
I could see it. Somebody that won't go down as like best in history, because I continue to have observations from the Washington-Denver game, because again, I was very much brain dead during the 1:00 hour. And Charles Leno, the left tackle for Washington, ass. Oh my God. Just so you could get him with anybody that you put on that edge. Was taking Sam Howell's head the entire game. Logan Thomas, fucking Kareem Jackson, the safety for the Denver Broncos, tried to take his head with an ugly helmet-to-helmet shot that knocked Thomas out of the game with a concussion. Something that was weird, it's weird for me to see, is Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos, and apparently, if you watch the game, a lifelong friend of Eric Bieniemy, something that they told you repeatedly throughout the course of the game. But Vance Joseph used to be the head coach of the Denver Broncos. Now he's back a few years later as their defensive coordinator, and that just feels weird to me. I don't know if that's happened anywhere else at a point, but it feels weird to come back and, like, you know, because I'm sure there's still people in the organization there that were there when he was hired and fired.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's got to be a little uncomfortable. I don't know.
No, I'm right there with you. If they kept harping on that, I was just gonna have to mute the TV.
It's between that and Brian Robinson's gunshot wound that came back up today.
Well, it's like me and you've had our separate conversations about how I feel about a certain college football team, which I will not name drop because I won't give them the time of day on this show right now. But even saying that they were teammates on that team back in the 90s, I was like, can you guys just A, stop with this storyline, and B, that team has gotten enough headlines in the last 3 days, let alone the last week. Don't encroach on my NFL. It's a Sunday. It's not college day. Go away.
You have had a beefy day with this unnamed college team. You have had a strong day with the fans of this college team that have been dragging you to hell with them. We won't name them. We won't dive into it now because, of course, you need to listen to 323 College Shame Day. I think it's our biggest product that we've put out since starting the 323 network. College Shame Day is blown up pretty well. So we're going to paywall it. You got to go listen to that show on next Saturday morning. It's going to come out every Saturday morning. YouTube, the 323 network. Go there. That's where it'll drop first. It'll eventually drop as the podcast later.
It's a perfect weekend show. It's about, what is it? Averaging 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It's released first thing in the morning. You're doing your errands Saturday morning. You're going grocery shopping, put your AirPods in, or you're mowing the grass, or you're just kind of like putzing around the house, waiting for college football to start on. Just pop it on, give it a listen.
And look, it's like you said, it's 30 to 45 minutes. It drops at 9 a.m. every Saturday. And if you're like me, I like College Game Day too on ESPN. I like watching Reese and the boys do at least their picks in that last 10 minutes. You got 2 hours. You got 2 hours to get Shame Day in and the real expertise, and then you can go watch the celebrity picks at 11:50 on ESPN. It's not bad. Corporate synergy between corporations that aren't even together. Any observations that I had the Giants. The Giants, they put a lot into their offensive and defensive lines this offseason and the offseason before that in terms of draft capital and free agency. So you'd think the production from both would be like more, right? Like that team is how are they this disappointing? We thought that there would be a drop off, but are you surprised by how much of a drop off there is?
Yeah, like you said, especially with the amount of money that they're tying up right there in those position groups, you'd think they'd be able to produce a little bit better. And I just don't understand where the hang up is now.
We'll find out. It's just going to get they're only going to get messier once they actually have to get into the NFC East. Because right now, I mean, the Eagles are 2-0, the Commanders are 2-0, and the Cowboys are 2-0. Giants are 1-1, but it's a flimsy 1-1. So we'll see how they compete once they get to Washington. I think they'll be playing Philly soon. I think that'll be their next game, or maybe it'll be the Giants. I don't know what their next inter division game will be, but
I'm fairly confident it's not until week 7 with you guys.
Oh, well, good for them. We'll handle them. We got Danny Dimes' number now after he owned us for his first couple of years. You have any observations from this weekend, Scott? Anything from the college or NFL world?
NFL, I can probably give you a quick one-liner for each of these games of stuff that I found. Falcons offense is looking scary. It's exactly who they were hoping they were going to be. Ritter, like you said, was looking a lot more confident. Bijan blew up. Drake London finally showed up, so that's great to see. Raiders are not for real. Bengals and Joe Burrow looks like he's thawing out a little bit. He needs to get put on ice. I think he has a calf injury, so hopefully that doesn't hinder him anything. In Geno, we trust for that Seahawks game. That's all you got to know. Chargers and Titans, yeah, Brandon Staley just needs to go.
Yeah,
he just needs to. He just leaves to leave.
Give Kellen Moore the opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's the reason why they picked him up to be the OC, because I think they saw the writing on the wall. They don't think they were going to be able to produce in I keep wanting to say San Diego, but in LA. But hey, whatever. Bucs, raise the flag. Love it. Keep the hype up. Keep going. I am very disappointed in Trevor Lawrence for my own selfish reasons.
Oh yeah, talk to us about tell us about the betting slip. How did the betting slip go?
Well, the betting slip was going great. Just recapping that Detroit Lions Memorial betting slip. The 1 o'clock games. The only things that I missed was the Trevor Lawrence passing touchdowns. I went to over 1.5, and all I needed was 1, and they were knocking on that door all damn game, and they just couldn't put one more away. And Reid, the fans out there, I'm going to tell you right now that if I hit every single one of those games at 1 o'clock, I was going to cash my ass out. I wasn't trying to stress anymore. I would have cashed out real quick. But so far from that betting slip, aside from that one that I missed, Matt Stafford, he went under 1.5. I had him going over 1.5. That's another game that I was very shocked that they didn't put up a little bit more points, especially with how Nacua did on the outside. And Saquon barely missing his over 73.5 yards. Everything else hit. So we're knocking on the door of some real money.
I think it'll happen.
Other than that, CJ Stroud is still proving me wrong on my thought process on Ohio State quarterbacks. Went for 380 and 2 touchdowns. I'm really liking the production out of him. Congratulations to Mr. Irrelevant. He is now 8-0 as a starter in the NFL. Brock Purdy, congratulations.
God,
there's a stat for you.
Man, I was wildly wrong about him.
Giants, Cardinals, I don't care enough. Jets, Cowboys care even less. Congratulations, Reid, on your win.
Thank you.
And those are my takes from the games.
I like that you say CJ Stroud is, proving you wrong on your thought process about Ohio State quarterbacks. How about Justin Fields?
He was, I mean, yeah, he went to Ohio State, but of course he was one of those transfer kids that went from Georgia to Ohio State. He was never really shown me his ability to be a complete all-around passer. He just relies on his legs way too much. And the amount of weapons that they do have in Chicago, because they do have some studs on that offensive side of the ball, and they keep running into the same problem where their O-line just keeps shitting the bed. So I don't know what else they need to do in Chicago.
But see, that was one of the biggest issues that I saw today from him, and it's been wildly disappointing because I'm rooting for that dude really hard. I want him to be a success. I like him, but we talk about how bad their O line is. There was a play in there, I think it was like a 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 9, where he has all the time in the world. The rush cannot get to him. The O line is holding everything back. He's standing there in the pocket. You have a wide open DJ Moore out on the flank. Who, I mean, he's not wide open, but he's open enough that you can hit him with a dot. But their running back, I think it was the rookie Rashad Johnson, was streaming up the middle, completely open, would have been 6, never saw it, never pulled the trigger, and instead just moved up into the pocket until he got sacked. Like, he walked into the sack. It was so frustrating to see.
Yeah, I just don't understand his read progression when you're looking at everything. I mean, hell, he got the 1 touchdown, so kudos to him, but he was picked off twice, he got sacked 6 times, he fumbled twice. It's just like you need to take that next step. I think he's gone through his whole career thus far through high school and college as being the superior athlete that he is.
Right.
And I'm not going to take anything away from him. He is a superior athlete. Anybody in the NFL is meant to be there just strictly on physical skills alone. But if you're trying to be a quarterback in the NFL, these are things that you need to do. Like you said, stand up in the pocket, deliver the ball, go through your progressions. And if your O line, who is atrocious at this point, is actually giving you some time, deliver the ball. You have to do what you're getting paid for.
I 100% agree. Just to close out these notes, we were talking about Rams rookie receiver Puka Nacua, BYU kid, stud. No player in NFL history, this is courtesy of @MySportsUpdate on Twitter, no player in NFL history has caught more passes in the first 2 games of their NFL career than Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua, who has caught 25 passes. Previous record was 19. Nacua is also the first player in NFL history to have 10 catches and 100-plus yards in each of his first 2 games.
Jesus.
Craziness. Good for him.
That Cooper Kupp production had to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you're looking at, I mean, they got Van Jefferson still there. They got Tutu Atwell still there. They got Tyler Higbee, the big tight end, still there. It's just, it had to go somewhere. And he's probably the one wide receiver on that roster that kind of mirrors Cooper Kupp's kind of mindset.
Right.
So seeing this production isn't shocking. I'm just hoping that the production doesn't take a dip. I think he's nursing some rib injuries right now. So hopefully he's able to bounce back from that next week. But no, it's hats off to him.
Look, it's been a fun NFL week, and look, I mean, it's you and I. It's very intimate. It's very personal. It's just one-on-one tonight, and I think it's a good time. The Sunday Hangover, traditionally, it's usually very football-heavy talk, but we also get into a lot of weird shit. In the past, especially season 1, we got into so many weird top 5s during the Sunday Hangover. It's a time to just be chill and casual and have some fun, and I think that having you here, just yourself, is the perfect time to unveil a game that I have been trying to get off the ground for about a year now. And now we finally have everything we need to play the 323's biggest new game.
Sports or porn?
That's right, folks. It's time to play sports or porn. It's not as, raunchy as a game as you would think, even though, the research going into it was a little bit raunchy. But the game is pretty straightforward and fun. You basically have to just tell me, Scott. I'm going to read you some different takes here, and you have to tell me whether what I'm giving you is sports analysis, from, like a show like First Take or Pardon the Interruption, things like that, Undisputed. Is it sports analysis or a Pornhub comment? Pornhub comments they're known for being quite all over the place. They get lots of articles written about them. So I'm going to give you some comments, and you tell me whether or not that is what it is.
Question really quick. Did the bulk of your research go into the prior residence or in this residence?
Which residence was it in? I think it was this residence.
Okay.
It was all comments. It's a weird fucking place, the Pornhub comment section. Oh my God.
Almost as bad as Reddit.
It's I'd say it's worse. There's some weird takes there.
Oh no.
So, Scott, your first comment here. My grandma does it better. Is that sports analysis or a Pornhub comment? My grandma does it better.
I'm gonna, as much as it pains me to say, I'm gonna go with Pornhub comment.
Hey, that is a Pornhub comment. At Dumac said that.
Shout out.
Shout out to Dumac. All right. Your next comment here is Ravens are in third place. Browns are 3-1. I'm telling you, they're going to be legit this year. Sports analysis or Pornhub comment?
I feel like you're trying to throw the okie doke at me, and I want to say sports comment, but like you said before, the comment section on those selective websites are very unhinged and very random. I'm gonna double up on Pornhub comment.
This guy gets this guy knows what he's doing. This guy knows what he's doing. That is at Fortnite King 2018.
You're not the only person who does his research, Reid.
All right. Your next comment here. Colin Kaepernick is actually comparable to President Trump. Sports analysis or Pornhub comment?
You know what? Let's go with sports analysis. Wow.
That is ESPN's highly paid Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, no. Steven, what are you doing?
Oh, man. You can tell that both of these worlds are quite weird in terms of the things that you will get.
See, it could have gone, like I said, those comment sections are very random and it could be anything. So I almost said it.
All right, the next one up. Anthony Davis to the Wizards. Nah. Stop dreaming.
You know what? I went 2 for 2 for Pornhub. I'm going to go 2 for 2 with sports analysis.
No, that was at Meatbeater 27 on Pornhub.
But first of all, the name alone, Meatbeater, choice.
It's a
great name for that site. But the 27 worries me. So are there 26 other meat beaters out there on that site?
Somebody had to have used it.
So I start getting my head in the mindset of if I'm Meat Beater 27, I'm on there, I'm making my profile. Meat Beater 2. Sorry, it's taken. All right. Meat Beater 3. What over under 10? No, let's go over under 12. If you get to Meat Beater 12, are you still trying to be Meat Beater or are you going to do something different?
No, you got to do something different. Maybe you do. Maybe even get you try to go MEET, Meat Beater. Like that.
Oh.
I don't know. Or Neat Beater.
Meat Beater. I barely even know her.
Hey-oh. You can never get over one of those. Hey-oh. All right. I don't know what your points are, but you're winning so far. You've only gotten one wrong out of all of these, so we're going to give you a couple more. I like these. These are good. Next comment up, Knicks all day, nerd.
What the fuck? fuck?
Sports analysis or Pornhub comment?
Give me sports analysis on that one. Oh, I'm not downward spiral.
No, that was at Shaggy Alex 69 on Pornhub. Yeah,
There we go.
you would think that would be more like a Fox Sports comment, though. I think
That was
that's
a
where they
Max
go.
Kellerman take that I would thought would have been there.
All right, next comment. Shirt's already off. Let's just lose the hat and shades too.
Sports analysis is going to have to hit at some point. I'm going to have to go with it again. Yeah, back on top.
That was Albert Breer talking about Cam Newton.
Oh, God.
Next one. If you don't want to be treated like a sex object, perhaps don't be one for money.
Oh, no. I really hope that it isn't a sports analyst that said that, but I think that would make it even more funny. So I'm going to go with a sports analysis.
That was unfortunately DC sports reporter Britt McHenry when she was talking about the Redskins cheerleaders.
Oh no.
Oh. Your next one. He's a Popeye's biscuit away from being a tight end.
That has to be a sports. If that's a Pornhub comment, I'm very concerned. I'm going to go with sports analysis.
That's correct. That was Booger McFarland talking about Kelvin Benjamin during a Monday Night Football game.
You know what? That's right. It sounded very familiar. That is a Booger McFarland comment. Fucking asshole. Anyways.
Next up. Open your mouth wide and take it.
Wow. You know, it seems like a very chalk Pornhub comment, so I'm going with Pornhub comment. Dear God.
That was Chicago Bulls color commentator Stacey King during a game. I don't know what it was in reference to.
I was going to ask you if you knew what the context was, but that's very concerning.
I wish I did. Next one up. So, Great Danes run at an average of 28.8 miles per hour. Scooby-Doo is a Great Dane. Him and Shaggy are always running side by side and in the cartoons. This means that Shaggy technically beat Usain Bolt's record speed of 23 miles per hour. So technically, Shaggy would be the fastest human alive.
Give me a sports analysis again.
That was a Pornhub comment from the aptly named at Scooby-Doo Hentai.
Oh, God. Don't Google that. Don't Google Scooby-Doo Hentai.
Call it soccer all you want. This is football.
This is a Pornhub comment.
That is from at Gaint Cockmaster 69.
What the
I'm gonna come.
That's a sports one. It's a sports analysis one.
That was Kenny Smith on Inside the NBA.
I knew that one.
Generational choke job.
Oh, God. Sports analysis.
You're going sports analysis?
Please. Oh, God, thank you.
It's actually both. That was from Joel Embiid, the MVP of the NBA, on Twitter, and at Big Cuzzo78 on Pornhub.
Well, see, I thought you were going to say that's from Joel Embiid and also from Joel Embiid on Pornhub.
That could be. If it was Big Cuzzo76, that would lead an investigation.
Oh, no. Did we just crack the case?
Your final one here is an audio. It's an audio question. Is this audio sports analysis or porn?
Oh, God. I mean, I'm going to have to go porn because that's just very concerning if it's sports analysis.
Oh, no, wait.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
oh, what the fuck?
That's from an NBA game. This is the full audio.
Portis.
That was from a 76ers game talking about Bobby Portis.
Portis.
I just want to know what he was doing.
He was getting that dome. That's what he was doing. I have the whole collection of unfortunate phrasings from the NBA. Actually, it's a 1-minute clip. Here you go, just for some reference.
Open your mouth wide and take it.
Blondes have more fun.
When emotionally, you're like, I'm going to come, and it ain't there.
I don't want a 6-inch. I want a 12-inch from DeMarcus Cousins.
Somebody has to come. That's too deep.
Well, all series long, we've been able to penetrate their bigs, get deep, suck the D in, and then we got spot-up shooters.
Hey, watch out for this kid because he can stroke it.
Portis.
I tell you, I took a look at Baines in the shower. He looks like all of Australia.
I like my meatballs spicy.
To know when to come. So Chris does a great job. Giannis comes from behind and gets a piece of it. Like, it's not just when you come, like it's how hard you come.
Oh my goodness. Jordan Clarkson almost came in my lap.
And we use it on our throat. High price. I bet you couldn't do that to them big-ass women in San Antonio. Oh.
No, no better way. Well, you know what? Good job, Scott. I think overall you did very well in that game.
Yay.
That inaugural voyage of sports or porn. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're hearing sports or porn, you know that this has been the 3-2-3. This has been the Sunday hangover. That's a Sunday kind of game. I can't help but thank you, Scott Ellia, for being here and playing this game. Any closing thoughts about sports or porn?
I don't have any thoughts in the fear of getting canceled, but in the spirit of sports or porn, there was a recent interview with Iowa quarterback Cade McNamara that I just sent you in the chat. If you'd like to give that a look-see.
Oh my God! This is an interview?
Yeah, it's
our level of communication up
press
front
conference
with me, the backs, and really everyone just being on the same page because we know these guys are going to come.
So that way I can.
I mean, there's
bring something to the table.
But I mean, we have to be on key with our hots. We got to be on key with our protection. So, damn it, I was not expecting that, but yeah, we'll be.
What a teenager. We love it. Oh, it's not like we don't do these things ourselves. I mean, now I have the comparison between Mike Breen's lips and Zoo's.
Oh, God.
Good night, folks. I hope everybody takes that into their dreams. Scott Ellia, thank you for being here. You can find him at 323 College Shame Day on Instagram. I'm telling you, it's got the best graphics around. And check out the show, College Shame Day, every Saturday morning. It is your best in college football expertise, and you can find out exactly who Scott is being bullied by online next Saturday as he is dragged to hell by fans of an unnamed college that you could probably guess that has become the hottest college in all the land. But Scott will give you all the updates next week. Meanwhile, you can catch us on Ricks versus Gricks. That will be out on Friday for the NFL Week 3 picks. Did surprisingly well this week. Did surprisingly well. Well, I did. I improved from 2-4 to 3-3. Scott fell from 5-1 to 3-3. So, something averaged out there. But, to keep everything the same, Luis went 2-4 again for the second week in a row. Zoo went 5-1 again. He's going 5-1 whether he's sleep deprived or rested. It's fucking insane.
He has to be stopped.
He can't keep getting away with this. We will talk to you then, folks. In the meantime, thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Stay safe.
Portis.